Welcome to Mystic Origins, where we journey back to the dawn of civilization. Today, we explore the cradle of civilization, ancient Sumer, and uncover how the earliest known writings laid the groundwork for myths surrounding the Annunaki. Join us as we travel thousands of years into the past to witness the birth of organized society, religion, and written history. Our story begins in a region historically known as Mesopotamia, a Greek term meaning the land between two rivers. These rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates, brought life to the otherwise arid landscape of the Fertile Crescent. Over millennia, people settled along these waterways, forming small farming communities. Gradually, these communities evolved into some of the world's first cities. This region is celebrated by historians as the cradle of civilization. Why? Because it's here we find the earliest evidence of urban life, written language, centralized governments, and organized religion. Among these pioneering societies, the Sumerians stand out as one of the most influential and mysterious cultures. Their legacy echoes in the myths that have shaped countless belief systems, including the legends of the Annunaki. The Sumerian civilization began to take shape around 4,500 BCE and flourished until roughly 1,900 BCE. Over this vast stretch of time, they built city-states, independent, self-governing urban centers. Notable examples include Uruk, Ur, Lagash, and Eridu. Each city-state was ruled by a local king or high priest who claimed divine authority. These rulers oversaw vast irrigation projects that turned desert lands into fertile fields capable of feeding large populations. Social and economic structures. The Sumerians were remarkable innovators. They developed complex social hierarchies, with priests, nobles, merchants, artisans, and laborers, each fulfilling distinct roles. Trade routes spanned across the region, and Sumerians became known for exchanging goods like grain, wool, and crafts for raw materials not found in Mesopotamia, such as timber, stone, and metals. The urban landscape. Each city-state featured monumental architecture, notably ziggurats, massive terraced pyramids dedicated to the local patron deity. The ziggurat symbolized a sacred mountain connecting the heavens and earth. This focus on the divine in public life set the stage for a rich religious tradition that we'll explore soon. Why writing emerged. One of humanity's greatest breakthroughs emerged from these bustling Sumerian city-states, cuneiform writing. Initially, writing served a practical purpose, keeping track of goods, taxes, and agricultural yields. But over time, it evolved into a medium for storytelling, law codes, and religious texts. Why writing emerged. One of humanity's greatest breakthroughs emerged from these bustling Sumerian city-states, cuneiform writing. Initially, writing served a practical purpose, keeping track of goods, taxes, and agricultural yields. But over time, it evolved into a medium for storytelling, law codes, and religious texts. Preserving myths and legends. Through cuneiform tablets, the Sumerians documented myths, epics, hymns, and prayers. These writings became the foundation for many later mythologies, including stories of gods who came from the heavens, what we often refer to as the Anunnaki. The earliest references to these deities and cosmic events appear in these very tablets, shaping future Babylonian and Assyrian cultures, and arguably even influencing biblical narratives. Importance for historians. For modern scholars, cuneiform tablets act like time capsules, revealing daily life, religious beliefs, legal disputes, and royal decrees from over 5,000 years ago. Without these writings, much of Sumer's achievements in mythology would remain in obscurity. Impact of the Tigris and Euphrates. The unique geography of Mesopotamia, plentiful water in an otherwise dry region, directly shaped Sumerian mythology. Floods were both destructive and life-giving, fueling stories of deluges and cosmic battles between gods who controlled the forces of nature. The Fertile Crescent as a cultural highway. Mesopotamia's location at the crossroads of Africa, Asia, and Europe turned it into a cultural highway. Ideas, goods, and people flowed through this region, merging local Sumerian beliefs with influences from surrounding civilizations. This interchange contributed to syncretic mythologies that later developed into the more widely known Babylonian and Assyrian pantheons. The divine hierarchy. The Sumerian pantheon was extensive, but at its apex stood Anu, the sky god. Next came Enlil, god of wind and storms, and Enki, god of water, wisdom, and creation. Inanna, also known as Ishtar in later traditions, was the goddess of love, war, and fertility. These deities were not distant, benevolent figures. They were often capricious and deeply involved in human affairs. Role of the gods in daily life. In Sumer, religion permeated everything, from politics to agriculture. Kings ruled by divine right, claiming the gods chose them to maintain cosmic order, or me. Priests performed daily rituals to appease the gods, ensuring the fertility of the land and the prosperity of the people. Cosmic order and the afterlife. Sumerian cosmology was layered, a flat earth surrounded by a primordial sea, with the heavens above and the netherworld below. While modern audiences often view these myths as allegorical, the Sumerians took them as literal truths, guiding how they lived, governed, and even buried their dead. Connection to the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki, sometimes spelled Annuna or Annunaki, were a group of deities in the Sumerian pantheon, children of Anu, who played critical roles in the creation of humanity, according to later myths. Understanding the Sumerian gods lays the groundwork for interpreting the Anunnaki narratives that emerged in subsequent eras. Influential stories. Sumer's storytelling tradition birthed tales like the Epic of Gilgamesh, which includes one of the oldest flood narratives on record. While Gilgamesh himself was a semi-legendary king of Uruk, his story captures the Sumerian worldview, where gods routinely intervened in human affairs, flood narratives, and later religions. These flood stories resonate with accounts in other ancient cultures, including the biblical tale of Noah and the Babylonian version of Utnapishtim. Such parallels hint at a shared mythological heritage in the ancient Near East, often traced back to the Sumerians. Anunnaki origins. While Anunnaki references appear more frequently in Akkadian and Babylonian texts, their roots lie in Sumerian mythology. As we'll see in later chapters, the Anunnaki mythos evolves over time, taking on new layers of meaning. Anunnaki origins. While Anunnaki references appear more frequently in Akkadian and Babylonian texts, their roots lie in Sumerian mythology. As we'll see in later chapters, the Anunnaki mythos evolves over time, taking on new layers of meaning. Key sites. Modern understanding of Sumer comes largely from archaeological digs at sites like Ur, Uruk, and Nippur. Since the 19th century, explorers and archaeologists have unearthed thousands of cuneiform tablets, revealing everything from tax records to mythical epics. Significant artifacts. Discoveries such as the Standard of Ur, the Uruk-Vas, and the royal tombs of Ur, showcase the artistic sophistication and cultural depth of the Sumerians. These finds also highlight the importance of religious ceremony, royal burials, and daily life in shaping Sumerian identity. Cultural transmission. After the fall of Sumer, its cultural and religious practices lived on through the Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. The gods were often rebranded with new names, but the core myths, especially those involving creation and cosmic order, remained remarkably consistent: law, mathematics, and astronomy. The Sumerians gave us more than myths. They were pioneers in law codes, mathematics, and astronomy, all of which laid foundations for later civilizations. For instance, their sexagesimal base 60 system influences how we measure time: 60 seconds, 60 minutes, even today. Prelude to the Annunaki myth. These achievements set the stage for the grand cosmic drama involving the Annunaki. By understanding Sumer's depth, we begin to see how legends of gods from the heavens or ancient beings who shaped humanity could captivate the minds of future generations. Mainstream versus alternative theories. Some interpret Sumerian myths in a purely symbolic or religious context. Others propose alternative theories, including the ancient astronaut hypothesis, which posits that the Anunnaki were extraterrestrial visitors. While mainstream academia typically rejects these more speculative claims, the allure of mysterious advanced gods has captured public imagination for decades. Importance of critical examination. It's vital to approach Sumerian texts and artifacts with a balanced perspective. Archaeological and linguistic studies continue to shed light on these ancient stories, separating cultural symbolism from historical fact. We've seen how the geography of Mesopotamia, the ingenuity of the Sumerians, and the earliest known writings converge to form the bedrock of Sumerian mythos. This civilization's influence echoes through history, shaping religious narratives, cultural practices, and the tantalizing legends of the Anunnaki. In our next exploration, we'll delve deeper into the Anunnaki themselves, tracing their evolution through Babylonian and Assyrian lore, and examining how these ancient gods continued to fascinate us in modern times. Thank you for watching Mystic Origins. If you've enjoyed this journey into the past, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the ancient mysteries that continue to shape our world today.